Hey, everybody. Carrie Ann King here with another edition of Tell Me Your Secrets. I'm always excited. I know I say that every time and I always think about it. I am super excited today. I have a really fun guest for us. Her name is Cady, and she has written some really interesting books. The one we're going to talk about today, mostly, I think, although who knows where this conversation might take us, is called The Outrageous Adventures of Dating Dick. And like, if that title doesn't have your interest right now, I don't know. On the way to finding your prince, you have to kiss a lot of toads. And that is one of the things that we will be talking about. Before I bring Amy on, I just want to tell you, I am really, really happy to let you know that Tell Me Your Secrets is now available on a lot of the podcast outlets. Not quite on iTunes yet. I'm still waiting on that, but you can find it on Google Play and Radio Public and podcasts and some of those places. So if you just search for Tell Me Your Secrets, it'll come up. You can also find it on my website at rightattheedge.com. And that's right as in WRITE at theedge.com, where all of the previous episodes are. And there's a lot of really fun guests on there that you might want to catch. So all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and bring Amy on. And we're just meeting today for the first time. So we're getting acquainted and you get to get in on that conversation with us. So welcome, Amy.
Hey, Carrie, how are you? Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
Me too. So tell everybody, do the little move thing so we can see what's behind you out your window. Like her camera stream. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Wave. Yeah.
Come on back up.
We're in Laguna Beach, California. Broadcasting live. Yeah. It's a little rainy today, which is unusual for Southern California. As a matter of fact, we're forecasted for at least the next 4 or 5 days of rain, which is a bummer, but still, you can't beat the ocean.
Oh, I love the ocean. Yeah. And if you're listening on audio, she's just sitting at, the perfect window with the waves and the palm trees and everything.
Palm tree, it's so pretty. Maybe you hear the waves. Maybe.
Making me jealous. In my part of the world, seriously, we're expecting a winter storm. I have actually upended my day today so that we can go to the dump. We live rural. So the Viking and I are making our dump excursion today instead of Saturday because we're expecting 6 inches of snow and below zero temperatures. And
oh my gosh, I'm so
sorry. I know. It's okay.
Send some good beach vibes your way.
It's okay. It's spring here is like that. And then when it really is spring, it's so gorgeous. I wouldn't change it for anything.
Very true.
Oh, weather aside, Amy, tell us about The Outrageous Adventures of Dating Dick. What is this book?
Oh, yes. It's a kind of a crazy, book, actually. It's a lot of fun. It is a fiction book, but it's loosely based off of some of my experiences. And it came about because right after I got divorced, a little nervous about jumping into the dating scene and what that looked like, especially with all the online services that you can use today, because we're all very busy, right? So it's a good way to do it, but also just meeting people here and there. My girlfriend was in town with her husband, and me being single, always the third wheel with people, right? They always ask, hey, who are you dating? What's going on? Are you thinking about ever, jumping back in? So I started to tell them my story about certain people that I've been out with, I did call him dicks. I have to be really honest.
Sure.
It wasn't a great, pleasant experience dating for me during the course of this journey. Adventures is what we call it. But as I was telling them some of the stories that had happened, they were laughing hysterically at my expense, of course. I'm like, okay, well, then if you think that's funny, wait till you hear this one. So, a couple bottle campaigns later, we just were rolling over. They said, you know what, you really need to write this down and tell your story because so many people can relate to it.
Sure.
So as I dug a little bit deeper into why I was attracting the same person over and over and over again, right? What could I do moving forward, to look at that, look back at what I was doing and what could I do to fix it and attract the right man, if that's what I wanted, which of course, I absolutely did. and wrote this book with sort of like a self-help, right? Really funny stories, kind of sad. Some of them are really sad, all relatable, but all have a message at the end.
Right.
So the just really quick, the premise of it was the character Kate has this inner child called little Cady, right? Your inner child is the positive one, the one that kind of helps you, well, not kind of does, help you with your crazy mind, the things that are happening in your head, right? Moving you
Sure.
towards that positive um, direction. But Kate doesn't always listen, right?
Right. Of course.
She's going to do what she wants to do and pushes Kate down and aside, blah, blah, blah. So born Toad, Toad being the acronym for the outrageous adventures of dating Dick. So Kate goes with little Katie to the land of Dickland. Where there's a pond of these toads hanging out on these lily pads.
Dickland.
They all have crowns on their head with their dick names on it. Right. Or for instance, we have yoga dick or football dick or porn dick, or so there's just a variety of men or their situation
Toads.
that she is attracted to. And of course, you don't kiss a toad and he turns into a prince, right? You kiss a frog. So she's doomed from the beginning. And little Katie's in the background going, no, 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 don't pick this one.
Right. No.
So she doesn't listen. She grabs the toad and then off on the adventure they go. And so the story is told, the lessons are learned. And in the end, for Final Dick, it's not what you expect at all, right? It actually is her. And what she learns.
Oh, this is brilliant. I love it's not a novel, but it's fiction.
Yes.
And it's kind of, it reminds me of, The Pilgrim's Progress.
Yes.
But in a much more entertaining and dickish kind of a way.
Yes, and the name Dick is synonymous with many different meanings.
Sure.
Honestly, the book does not emasculate a man at all. It's really not. It's understanding him, right? And where he's coming from with what she's bringing to the table as well, right?
Right, because you are not a man hater.
No.
As a matter of fact, guys, Amy is here at Laguna Beach with the prince that she found.
That's right.
And he's actually prince enough that he flew to meet her in the midst of all these troubled times. So how cool is that, right? So you said you might tell us the secret about how you met Prince Richard. And before you dive right into that, I'm just going to say I met the Viking online dating. And, how cool is that? So go ahead.
An interesting story. Yes, Prince Richard. Right, ladies, Richard, Dick. Okay, so my brother introduced us. Now he lives in Colorado, which to have a long distance relationship, there is a chapter in there called Long Distance Dick, which didn't work, but it's not him.
Right.
He actually didn't make the book because he was, or he is amazing.
Right.
So my brother introduced us, and actually, when he did, we really didn't hit it off at all. I was coming off of a long distance relationship, right? The long distance Dick relationship, and was not interested in doing that again.
Right.
As well, he had just started the dating scene. He had been married a long time, like I had, but when he had gotten divorced, he had decided not to date while his children were in high school. So he has not dated for 20 years. I mean, that's a right. We're in our 50s. So back then, that's a long time to now. And he's online dating. And so it's interesting. We completely broke the ice by starting to talk about what he was doing in his dating world and versus me. And I was out. I don't want to do it. Online dating didn't work for me. But let me coach you on women, right? So we're sitting across the table from each other, and he's saying this, that, and the other, and this girl and that girl, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, this one's not for you. Yeah, maybe this would work, but he loved it. So I left, went back to California, and he's texting me every once in a while. Okay, I went out with this person. Can I call you and ask you that? So I was telling him kind of what to do and how to be. Finally, he had texted me and said, hey, you're really a nice person. Like, why are you not dating anybody? Hey, the next time you're in town, let's go out. I went, I don't know. Okay. I'm just not into it. So tired of it. But yeah, long and
Right.
short of it, we did get together. And the rest
Oh,
is history. It was wonderful, wonderful. And I'll tell you, ladies, what's really important for us is to be able to show up for a man loving ourselves first.
right.
That's
And
huge.
now that you've said that, so you are also a self-love coach, correct?
Yes, I do. It's so weird. It's like, I, it baffles me that I'm giving advice to my friends because it seems to be a simple concept to me. Really, how do you take care of yourself? Self care, self love.
Right.
And I do that for my children too. If I am not able to show up for my kids in a good space, then no one's going to benefit from it. It's going to be a
Right.
negative experience. But if I'm able to take the time out to take care of me and my needs and my things, and it sounds really selfish it may be, I'm okay with that because I want to show up for someone in the best light that I possibly can. Because if I'm coming into a situation negative and defensive, then the other party's going to be the same way. So I come at it with love.
Right.
Really the secret. It's
Sure.
really not a secret, but it really can be. It's really, when I told him I want a relationship with unconditional love, Prince Richard went, there's no unconditional love. That's a bunch of crap. Well, now he gets it. We've been talking
Right.
about like the past 12 hours since we've been together talking about this interview. I said, tell me, what is it that attracted you to me? He said, your positivity.
Right.
Right. Nobody.
Right. And I believe that's true. It's like you can't help somebody else or really love effectively if you're in a position of need, I feel, or if I've always said that about the Viking, and I love our relationship for that. It's like I am with you because I like you.
Yeah.
I'm with you because I want to be with you, not because I need you.
That's right.
And that's such my marriage, I was married too. I've been through this, except for my husband died suddenly rather than the divorce. Well, but it's the same sort of, I'd been married for 20 years and he was my first. So all of a sudden you're in the dating scene and it's wild out there. So I think this book that you've written is, extremely important for a lot of people. And I want to talk a little bit about how you got the book out there. So this is not a traditionally published book. And we had a brief conversation about this. I think it's very interesting. So you say that you self-published it. And I said indie, and you said I don't think so. So let's talk about that a little bit. So, what did you do to get your book out in the market? What are you thinking about as self-publishing?
So if I can mention the other book, because that was
Yeah, absolutely.
pivotal in why I went this other direction.
Yes.
So when I also published a book called Get the Skinny on Your Success, and that was also a self-help book. If just another tidbit about me, I am a Pilates instructor. I've been in the fitness field for a gazillion years, probably 30. And when I published this book, there were a lot of people that were asking about busy and entrepreneurial type people. How do I get exercise onto my schedule? So I published this book, went through Amazon, went through Create Space. It was a great experience, but difficult to market for me.
Sure.
I'd love to. I'm so excited to hear about you too and how you're getting all your books out. That aside, so I ended up having to sell it basically myself, putting it in the back of my car and going out and doing talks and book signings, all the things that we do, right?
Sure.
To get them out there. I decided this time, because this particular book, the Toad book, seemed to be more impactful for me, that would reach many demographics, including men. I've had men read it saying, oh my gosh, I'm a dick. I'm reading your book and I'm a dick. I'm sorry. I feel bad that I acted this way.
Cool.
I knew it could reach a larger audience. What could I do?
Right.
I didn't even think or know how to get commissioned by a big publishing house.
Sure.
And it seemed impossible. It seemed like an impossible task. That was my own disbelief, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
So I Googled the top 10 self-publishing houses out there. And the one, is it okay? Do I mention one? So
Sure.
Lulu.com is where I went with them. The reason why I went with them, I called different publishing houses because I want this book to be a TV series or a movie, right? Because it's kind of a combination between Sex and the City meets Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce, Odd Mom Out. I don't know if you've ever seen any of those TV shows, but it's sort of this combination of that. So I know it would be a hit. Lulu, I would call the different publishing houses and saying, okay, this is the name of my book. Would you be interested in publishing it? Because it does have the word dick in it. I mean, to be really transparent, my thing was, would you have published 50 Shades of Grey?
Right.
No. Okay. And I'm like, next. Lulu, I contacted them and said, hey, would you have published 50 Shades of Grey? And they said, as a matter of fact, we did. And we have a side company, production company that published her movie, like produced her movie. This, that, and the other. I'm like, sold, because this is exactly what I want. Now, I did pay for the, I guess it was not the screenwriting, but I paid for, blanking right now, it'll come to me, for them to put together the pitch to send it to that particular production company. And it did come back as a no, but they put it in a vault, right, where other publishing companies can come and look at it.
Sure.
So that's why I went with them. It was a great experience in terms of professionalism. They had a great editing staff, like 3% margin of error, which was great. The cover, they helped me put together the cover for the book, which was great. They offered the website. So it was like an all-inclusive package. Yes, there was additional fees for extra editing and certain things, and marketing as well.
Right. So you paid for marketing and
I didn't pay for marketing, but I paid for everything. I really wanted the most professional looking book. That was for me.
Sure.
Because I felt like it was a really extremely important message to get out.
Right.
It still is. And so if I hand you this book, it's kind of titillating, the cover.
Yeah.
That alone will make you go, what is this about? Right.
Right.
And with that being said, the second book and the third book and the fourth book are here already. So I'm willing, I'm ready to work on those next books. Now, would I go back with Lulu? Probably not. I would now seek out to get commissioned on it.
Okay. Right. And so, really, it doesn't sound that different in so many ways. I mean, if I'm doing an indie book, most of my books are with traditional publisher. I have an agent. She pitches my books and I get, a traditional contract. I have done re-release 2 of my books as indies recently. And the whole thing about that is, you pay somebody to do a cover, you pay somebody to do your editing, all those things. So if you have an organization that you can pay to do those things, then that's, essentially.
In my assumption, I felt like that was probably the least expensive way to do it.
Right.
But it really wasn't. It was really expensive. But that was my choice, right?
Sure.
I really wanted this to be polished and professional.
Absolutely. Well, and really, if you're doing anything independently, whether you want to call that self-publishing or indie or whatever, it still is indie in the fact that you are in control of it. You have not sold the rights to a publishing house. So it's yours and you have some control over it. And so if you want to have something out there that does well, it needs to look professional. It needs a good cover. It needs good editing, or those things will bite you in the butt later, right? For sure.
The Skinny Success book that was done on CreateSpace, it's good. It was more of a self-help book where I felt like it definitely wasn't going to be a New York Times bestseller, where I feel like this could be, or the trilogy or this series or whatever eventually will get to that point. And so I'm willing to work at or spend the money to do that.
Right.
Not because I'm looking to make a ton of money. It's because I need to get that message out, with this whole Me Too movement and everything that's going on. And now people are really having to take care of themselves more than ever.
Right.
With what's happening with coronavirus. I feel like I just need the platform to get on,
Right.
And the hardest part, as you know, is marketing.
Sure.
You have an agent, which is fantastic. I'm looking at doing that as well.
But they don't do any marketing. It's like, even with a traditional publishing company, they're not going to do marketing for you. I'm lucky because I'm with an Amazon imprint. And so I get, Lake Union, I get the whole Mighty Machine goes behind my books when they come out. So that's brilliant. But traditional publishing in general, and even still, I do all my own marketing. Nobody's going to do that for you. It's your book. So,
right.
And nobody's going to love it as much as you do. I love, I was having a conversation with actually Jeanette Ma, the Good Vibe Coast, the other day. I know. And she suggested to me to think about my books as if they were like real, like people instead of books, and the relationship that I would have with that book if it were a human being rather than a book, as I was complaining about, sales that didn't happen on something I wanted them to. And I thought about that, and it's like, I'm not pimping out my books. I am helping them audition for their roles. I'm supporting them. I'm helping them be themselves and find their tribe, right? It's much, So it's just a whole new way of looking at it. I want to talk about your podcast, Amy, because that also is part of marketing. And so what's your podcast called?
So it's called Toad Talks, right? Toad is the acronym for the book. TED Talks, right?
Right. So, Toad Talks.
I write a blog called Sex, Love, and Dating Dicks, volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like volume. And then I took those blogs and turned them into a podcast and really just talking about situations. I have a lot of friends that are dating.
Right.
A lot of friends that are they're on the struggle bus with it. So I'm essentially talking about that situation, what little Cady would do, and turned it into a positive. So that, again, it's not emasculating the man. Right. It's having the woman take responsibility for her part in the relationship.
Yeah.
So every episode we'll talk about something. I think the last one I might have done was Match.com. Match.com dick.
I met some of those. Fortunately for me, when I was doing online dating, even though I had been out of dating for so long, I am an intuitive. I'm a bit of an empath. I also had some mental health counselor background, and I really honestly did not get into any very bad situations, or at least not for very long, because you could see it. I could see it coming. And I do value myself. I figured that one out fairly long time ago. So
it's interesting just talking about that really quick, because typically when we're having situations or issues, right, with our relationships, it stems from something obviously in the past, and we have to dig that up and work through our stuff.
Right.
What happened with Kate was a molestation when she was really young.
Yeah.
And then how that morphed into, because her dad didn't pay attention to it. And so therefore it turned to sex for love. Right. And it's wrong. And so many women do that. So and with this whole Me Too movement. But what's interesting is that Prince Richard had said to me when I was out dating and I was talking to women asking about their story, they always had something in the background that was preventing them from really, truly being able to trust in a relationship. Right. And so this is the message, right? How do we get to that place?
Right.
Of doing it? The podcast does talk about that.
That's awesome. I love that you're doing this work. And how can we find the podcast? Is it on iTunes and all of those things?
All of those places. Yeah. Stitcher. I do also have them on my website, and there's 7 episodes now. I took a hiatus, just some stuff going on with family, but I'm coming back to start it again the end of this month and moving into the summer with some more.
Okay, so Toad Talks, TOADD, right?
Yes.
Talks, yes.
This is doomed. She's doomed. Even the spelling's wrong, right?
No, but that's what catches the attention. I love it, actually. I think it's fascinating, and I love the work you're doing. I think it's so valuable and so important. Your website, then, what's the website address?
There's 2. The podcast you can find, amycady.com, amycady.com, or if you want to get the book, you can get it there too, but you can go to the outrageous adventures of datingdick.com. I know it's long. I wanted to nail it. I wanted to get it before the movie producers picked it up.
Hey, I love your thinking. This is awesome.
It's also on Audible. so they can go to audible.com. I'm trying to think.
Cool. And you can find it on Amazon. Just look up Amy Cady and you'll find both of her books. Also, Pilates video, I think, pops up there.
There's a video, there's a manual. Yeah, I'm all over the place.
Right. That's awesome. I've never done Pilates. I do yoga. I love my yoga. And
yes, I do too. I love yoga like crazy. And Pilates definitely is the meat and potatoes right now, but I still do it. It's wonderful. Really good for the core and flexibility.
That's awesome. I love that you're doing that. And I do want to say, while we're here, I've been doing a lot of tapping work lately as well, a lot of energy tapping on meridians. And if you're not familiar with that, it's such an easy thing to do at home on your own once you learn how to do it. And it changes so many things. You can shift those beliefs from what you don't want to what you do. It's great for reducing fear and anxiety. And I'm actually doing a live tomorrow on Friday the 13th to talk about the fear on coronavirus that's going on right now, because it's not good for your immune system. It's bad for your writing and anything else that you're trying to do. And so the tapping is really good for that. So at Facebook, Right at the Edge, WRITE, which is my coaching type page. I'm going to be doing that at noon PST tomorrow. So check that out too if you want to see what tapping is all about, because that's like really helpful.
So good. I do it too. Tap it out, tap it out, tap it out.
Right.
Right.
I just got into, there was a worldwide tapping summit last couple of weeks with the Ortner family, who all have books about tapping on Amazon. Anyway, I had already been into it, but I did the summit and it was amazing. It was just really fantastic.
When they were in a room full of people that all are doing it.
Yeah.
That's incredible. It's incredible energy. Really good.
Yeah, I can just imagine. It feels like meditation to me. It feels a little bit like the results of hypnosis, like the good kind of hypnosis. Right. I've done that. It's just, and it's something you can do home alone on your own. So
I don't know if you know Jack Canfield, who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Yeah.
I am a big fan of his, went through his program. And one of the things that we did, Pamela Bruner came in, she's written a tapping book as well. Hundreds of people in a room. One person would get on stage and have an issue. We're all tapping for her.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine the impact that she felt and had through that? It was incredible.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it. What a great idea for this time. Absolutely.
Yeah. I love it. It's awesome. Well, I am definitely going to tune into your podcast. I've got to dial that up. That's awesome. And then I can recommend it to other people as well. The book is on Amazon, you guys. The Outrageous Adventures of Dating Dick. You want to look at it. You do.
Yes. Any questions anyone has, just send it to me. I'll answer them. I'll put it on the podcast.
Right. Oh, that's great. Yeah. Ask questions and she'll put them on the podcast. And I'm so delighted that I got to meet Amy, who came to me through a friend. And it's just kind of this wonderful openness to adventure and fun. And people just keep popping in to this show for me, which is just wonderful. And I'm looking forward to now going forward with you in my circle. So that's awesome.
I'm happy to be there.
Thank you for being here. Enjoy your vacation.
One more time. Let's see that. Yes.
Give our love to Prince Richard, and have a great time and an awesome day.
Thank you. Enjoy your Viking.
I always do.